When we left you last time on our series, the Armistice of Mudros was signed, World War I in the Caucasus was officially over, British forces took control of the Zangezur corridor, they took control of Karabakh. Meanwhile, Andronik and a strange army of refugees kind of became the dictator of an undeclared de facto state in southern Armenia. That was neither legally or technically Armenia or any other country or under anybody else's effective control. We're hitting real blind spots here, and we will revisit southern Armenia in the future. We also talked about a very brief, very stupid war between Armenia and Georgia that involved a lot more yelling at one another than shooting, all while German advisors try to get both sides to chill the fuck out and go away. Now, if you're thinking about the date on all this, everything that I just listed, you probably also know that the Germans are gone now. World War I is over. The German Empire is dead, and therefore, so are all the advisors because there's no German soft power in the Caucasus anymore. And with them went the diplomatic pressure to keep Armenians and Georgians from putting their guns down over some lines on a map or, arguing over who invented wine first. Though I should point out that several Germans did remain behind. This could be a combination of dudes who probably realized shit back home was not going to be going so great, so they just stayed out of it. They were paid a lot of money by the Georgian government to continue advising, and some Germans had bought property and just decided to stay and be Georgian now.
Yeah, and one day to make their own wineries, and profit off of Georgian wine.
Someone has to.
It's kind of almost real.
And the Germans, most of these advisors were high-ranking officers and stuff. They knew things probably weren't going to look so good for them going back to what would be the Weimar Republic very shortly. Probably a good idea on their part. I don't know. In October of 1918, things are about to heat back up, though. After the last blow-up, Georgia sends a delegation to Yerevan, and I'm not really putting the blame on any individual person here for how these negotiations went. Instead, I'm going to say everyone involved is very, very, very bad at their jobs because they don't know how to do them. Remember, these guys have all been a country for 4 months, and none of them have ever been a diplomat before.
Joe, what's new?
Yeah,
Has anything changed?
No, and that's going to be revisited on this episode a few times, I think.
Yes.
All these dudes were foreign ministers or ambassadors, and if you go 6 months before, they're all just drinking coffee together in Tbilisi.
Yeah, exactly.
These dudes have never done these jobs before, so diplomatic niceties, the normal processes, they don't know what any of this shit is. So there's a lot of accidental fuck ups, but these things did start with good intentions. And there's going to be a few Armenians. I don't know how many Armenians other than us two listen to this. This episode is going to sound pretty pro-Georgian. That's just this part of history. That's all I'm going to say. So Noah Ramishvili, the acting Georgian foreign minister, called on the nations of the Caucasus, which at this point includes our three main players, Georgia, Azerbaijan, and Armenia, but also the North Caucasus state that included Dagestan and Chechnya that went by the name the Mountaineering Republic of the Northern Caucasus, which
good times.
Ramishvili points out that the Great War is over. And look, we're all countries now. Russia is gone, Ottoman Empire is gone. We all need to come together and sort our fucking baggage out, which, yeah, makes sense, right? This is a good fucking idea.
Sounds like a very short-sighted man.
In his letter to these countries, he outlines 3 to 5 main things they really need to focus on and iron out. Territorial disputes, for one, because none of these countries have agreed upon borders. 2, mutual recognition of each other's independence. 3, a, quote, settling of all controversies. I feel like that should have been its own peace process, but there's a lot. They really need to decide on who put rice and meat in a grape leaf, and this is the conference for that. 4, a treaty that creates something that would be like a Caucasus political, economic, and military bloc. Kind of like, I don't know, the EU for the Caucasus?
It is a good idea.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a good idea. And what I don't like is often, especially people in Caucasus, is like, we could never do this. We all know the history of Europe. If they could do it, of course we could do it. But I think it's very good that you've mentioned that at the time, none of these people, also now, none of these people have any real they're not coming from a certain school of diplomacy when they can actually talk about it. No, it's this is how this conversation went. a certain Gior Dato went to a certain Armen or a hike.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, you're my brother, let's settle our differences. I brought some of my national food that you can taste and some of our national drinks that you can taste and see how good we got it, and we can share it, just have a nice toast and be happy. And they both pulled out dolma and they both pulled out wine.
Yeah,
and then shit hit the fan.
The Azeris, the Georgians, and the Armenians all brought the same three things and got in a fight.
Sorry, I have a story here, Joe. I'm going to keep it short. But I was doing my master's degree in Georgia. I was in American school. And some of our teachers came up with the idea it would be so good to do cultural night. So cultural night between Armenians, Azeris, and Georgians, because those were the three of us studying in this master's program, right? And this was just the first 3 months we were studying together. Mind you, most of us, when it comes to Armenians and Azeris, were first time seeing any representative of each other's nations.
Right.
So this is quite an interesting adjustment. We weren't fighting or anything. We were very careful around each other, right? Because of, all the propaganda bullshit we grew up with. But so what ended up happening is we all had set up this very similar tables, almost the same food, across the board. Everybody had dolma,
yep.
Everybody had some type of kebabs or something, everybody had
everybody had a pack of cigarettes.
It was so funny. When we walked in, we started laughing. That's how funny it was. But then we also had to present national dances and songs. So with songs, here's the thing. There are some songs and some music that is shared between our countries, but the other party doesn't necessarily know, and the way they perceive it that it's stolen. So we start dancing to this song, and then one of our Azeri classmates starts screaming in the background, "This is our song! This is our song!" Then we became friends, of course, and we're just, this is something I always reminded her, and we always have fun about it. But another hilarious part was that one of the Georgians learned how to sing an Armenian song, and she started blasting out a racist Dashnak Armenian song about Turks. And she asked me, "Ani, what those lyrics mean?" Literally 10 minutes before she started doing that. I was like, you know what? You're good.
Yeah. I love this band. It's called the Freedom Eagles of Hayastan. Oh no, that's not a good sign.
I think it's evident, but I have to point out that this cultural evening never ever again took place in the school because it was a disaster. In retrospect, we'll laugh about it. We were having fun, but there was a lot of tears and not even passive aggressive, a lot of aggression as well. So yeah, I think for our listeners, this might just sum up how some of those events, diplomatic events, would go down.
It'll like I often say, history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. It's going to keep rhyming. I like to build on his points about creating something of a Caucasus power block. He also wanted a system of mutual aid and support because, we talked about, and we will continue talking about, every single one of these countries is starving. So why don't we all work together to help our people? No one else is going to come and help us. After all, look around. Do you see anybody? Think of the paradise of if all of this worked out. And I think we can all agree that Ramishvili is really onto something here. Arguably, not only would this be cool if it was settled in 1918, it would be cool if it was settled tomorrow.
Right.
But the other foreign ministers got really upset at him. The anger came not from his ideas, but how they said, "Hey, why don't we meet at this place at this date and this time?"
Hell yeah.
The leadership in Armenia, Azerbaijan, and the North Caucasus took this as Georgia is trying to dominate the Caucasus. We can all agree, I hope, that this is a very stupid thing to get mad at. But after it happens, members of the Georgian government also get mad at Ramishvili, saying that you did this wrong. You're supposed to propose a time for all of us to meet, so then we can decide on the time to do the other thing. This is how diplomatic processes are supposed to work. Ramishvili simply did not know. He did not mean any insult. Whatever, I suppose. The same rules apply for Georgia here that applies for Armenia, that applies for Azerbaijan, is that these guys are learning on the job and they don't have anybody to learn from. Then if all this wasn't bad enough, someone lost Armenia's official invitation to the conference in the mail.
Oh, this is so Caucasian. I can't.
So
Oh my God.
Armenia is thinking that they got left out. But what happened is the telegram, as a diplomatic official like thing, was supposed to be delivered via train going south by a representative of the Georgian government.
FedEx.
Yeah, they sent it via high post.
It wasn't UPS again. Oh my God.
They sent it via high post through Massachusetts. So while Armenia waited for Ramashvili's official diplomatic mail, it got lost. It only arrived in Yerevan on November 7th, which is a problem because the meeting began on the 3rd.